Alright, if you're looking to add a second hard drive to your laptop, I'm going to tell you how to do it here. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Pretty easy procedure. This is a Dell Inspiron 15, model number 3567, but this type of procedure will work for probably any Dell Inspiron 15. Basically, if you have a CD-ROM drive, DVD, and optical drive port that you're not using, you can grab one of these universal caddies, which will allow you to install a 2.5-inch internal hard drive and basically swap it out for your optical drive. Now, if you're worried about that rare occasion when you might want to burn a CD-ROM old school style, I do have an option for that. We're not going to lose our CD-ROM, so stick with me. Let's get this done. Now, there are a myriad of universal hard drive caddies out there. I just grabbed one off of Amazon. It was 10 bucks. This one happened to have some tools and some rubber little spacers here, that type of thing, but there are others out there. Just be aware of that. This one did come with a really cheap faceplate. That ain't really going to work for most laptops. It's not going to look good, at least for this Dell, because this CD-ROM, this is actually a DVD burner, it has a molded faceplate that curves around, so I'm going to try to pop that one off and match it up to this so we have a nice clean look as well. While we have this flipped over, first step, let's just get into it. Oh, real quick, you know, this could be a SATA drive, this could be an SSD drive. I went with a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SATA just for cost savings. This is like 48 bucks when I got it. You know, I'll put links to the stuff I got down below, and you do your research, but you know, it depends on what size, how big you want to go. If you want to go, you know, bigger you can, or smaller you can, depending on your budget. First step here, remove the battery. Real easy. Flip that switch, pull that battery out. Couple reasons for that. You don't want your battery in there when you're messing around with this stuff, but also it exposes a port here that we'll need to get to. And of course, this little caddy came with these goodies, like I said. So it does have a small little screwdriver in there. I have a little bit better one I'm going to go ahead and use. There is one screw right here, and you see that hole. Go ahead and take that screw out. That is basically what's holding this DVD-ROM, this optical drive, secure in place. So don't lose that little screw. We're going to need that later. Now, right here, there's a little slot, and what you want to do is, I'm actually going to use this tool that came with the universal adapter there, the caddy. It's a nice little plastic tool, has a flat end. You could use just a regular flathead screwdriver, but just put it in here and kind of work. You see how it popped out that drive? So that's what it's for, so you don't bust off your face plate as you're taking this drive out, and carefully pull it all the way out. There we go. Optical drive is out. Here's one thing. We are going to have to transfer this bracket on this Dell over to this caddy. Unfortunately, the caddy doesn't come with it. That's pretty crappy in my opinion. So I'm going to take this bracket off first. One little screw here. This laptop is actually my wife's, and main hard drive is still fine. It's actually an SSD, but she wants to put a second one in there to back up the files, and that's a good process, or a good thing to do, and also just to have that extra storage to maintain. Alright, now make sure we orient this the same way that this one came off. So you have multiple holes here. Let's make sure we put it in the same one on here that one came off with. There is a little tab Maybe it's showing up on camera. There's a little tab there. That's going to go right in this hole to help you line it up. I'm going to screw this little tiny baby screw into this caddy. So that bracket is transferred over. We're going to keep this DVD burner over to the side here for later. Let's install our hard drive. Now this one, some of these caddies have like little screws or such that are going to secure the hard drive in place. There are no instructions with these cheapo caddies that I have seen. This one here does come with some nice little rubber spacers, which I'm going to utilize. It does have some basic gee whiz picture type instructions. Now there are different switch settings on this because this is a universal caddy that works with an HP, a Sony, a Dell, and some others, Apple, IBM. So be aware of that and make sure your switch settings are in the proper orientation, and those switches are down in here. And for Dell it's BC, which it comes set in, so that's nice. So left switch is all the way over to the right, right switch is all the way over to the left, and that is BC. So this one, I'm going to actually put these little rubber side dinghies into the normal screw holes of this hard drive. So this caddy, this is the first time I've used this one. Of course I don't do this procedure a lot here, but other caddies, like I said, they actually have screws that will secure your hard drive in place. So just kind of take a look at these little universal caddies and see which one's going to work for you. I'm going to try this one out. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay, now we have our connection here and our connector here. Basically what we're going to do is connect it up and lock the caddy in place. So push that front end down in there. Make our connection. I just lost one of my spacers. Alright, I'm not too fond of these little rubber spacers now that I'm using them, but if I can get them to work right, it's going to be fine. So you make sure they're not binding up or feeding. Going to tip the hard drive into place. Backside slightly elevated. We're going to get our front connection made as we slide it into the caddy. Make sure those little spacers are fed down. They're not binding up anywhere. Then push our connection in place, and then make sure the back of that caddy is pushed down. The spacers try to pop up on me. I just kind of push it down into place. There we go. With this little plastic tool. Yeah. But everything is held in really well, and they do provide this additional rubber spacer where I'll put in there, and actually that's going to work out pretty nice. So it's got the hard drive held in there firmly, no risk of it coming out. We are good to go. Alright, before we install our optical drive, we need to transfer the front bezel off that actually matches our laptop from the optical drive. There's a little hole right here in every optical drive. You can use a large paper clip to probably do this. This is a 1/16 inch punch, and basically you push it in there and there's a little button and it releases the optical drive there. Now what we're looking for is a couple of clips, because we don't want to break these bezel clips because we need them to secure here. And looks like on this one we have a clip right there, and there's one on this side. So I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver and we're going to get this off here, and I'll zoom in. Alright, try to get a little bit closer shot here. So again, we have a tab there we have to release, and there's one kind of hidden down in here that we need to release. Moral of the story is be very careful so we don't break these off, because we want to reuse these bezels here. So actually I think I'm going to try to release this small one over here first. I'm going to get a little bit smaller flathead, and go in here, a little bit of pressure there, twist it out. That one is released if it doesn't pop back in place. Again, just take your time. Now I just need to push this big tab down, get a little bit of pressure pulling out here. There we go, just like that. And we have the bezel out, so you can see what I was doing there, pushing down on that one. This one has the little hook right there, so I didn't want to break that, so I actually released that one first. Now we just transfer it to our bezel, make sure we're oriented the same way. And everything looks like it lines up. There it is. Now it's going to be a clean look. Alright, now that I've transferred this bracket over to our hard drive carrier, you're going to flip it over and orient it this way. You got this angle facing the back hinge where the battery compartment is. That's where the connector is on that side. Now I do want to say, if you ordered your Dell with no optical drive, you're probably not going to have that connector inside. So use a flashlight to take a look. If you don't see a connector that would match up to this one, you're going to have to order that cable. And it is possible. You can get that cable for about anywhere from 10 to 12 bucks. Just search on Amazon type of thing. And you're going to have to actually take the computer apart. Be a good time to upgrade your RAM if you're going to do that as well. But we're just swapping ours out. So this is going to slide in. You're going to feel it, that connection back there. Now, go ahead and reinstall the screw for this optical drive bay. That's why you have to transfer that bracket over. So be warned on that. You do need that bracket. Snug that up. You can see everything looks nice and clean. Now, nothing left to do but to fire it up and try it out. Alright, check this out. If you did the swap of your optical drive in your laptop, took the optical drive out and put one of those hard drives in, like I did, don't get rid of that optical drive, whether it's a CD-ROM, DVD, whatever, because you can still get some use out of it rather than just eBaying it for like 20 bucks or something. Check this out. I found this was like $12 on Amazon. It was like $11.95 actually. Little pop-up mobile external case for your optical drive. So this is 9.5 millimeter. I'm going to try this out. Let's see how this works out. First time opening it here. What I liked about this one when I found it online is it has this little storage area for the cable. So it's going to be a USB connection, and from what I read inside here, yep, you got to be careful because don't just go jamming this optical drive down in there, because you can kind of see I'm going to have to fish out the faceplate for the optical drive, because what I did, I took my original faceplate off so it would match up on that hard drive conversion with the laptop, and this comes with, I don't know why they shove it down in there. Let me get something to fish this out with. There we go. I don't know why they shove that down in there like that, trying to save on shipping in the box, but be careful. So I am going to reuse that and see how this is all going to line up in here. And it should just slip in fairly snug, and kind of, you'll be able to feel it connect down in there. Okay. You know what I should have done? I should have put this little plate on first, but that's alright. I'll make sure we're down in there, and we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this plate on. Kind of a cheapie, but there we go. Make sure it's snapped into place. I'll go ahead and release this. Alright, I went ahead and get a little paper clip or something, pushed a little, there's a little hole there, and you can release your drive, your optical drive tray, because this wasn't clipping down all the way. Now I've got it clipped in where it's a lot better. A little bit recessed in there, but that's a pretty clean look.